Hello, church. We're looking at Exodus chapters 35 and 36 for our daily Bible reading. Word of the day is enough. As we've been reading about the construction of the tabernacle and the furniture and everything from it, the first kind of 7 verses of chapter 36 describe this amazing scene where all these workers and craftsmen are starting to construct and build and do all these things. And the people are pouring in their free will gifts every morning, right? This was not a command that each person had to give X amount of dollars or X amount of feet of yarn or anything like that. These people were choosing to look through what they had and contribute it to this work of God. So much so that they don't just skate by and reach the bare minimum. They are giving so much that the workers have to say, okay, stop, we have too much. We have an abundance of supplies. What an amazing testimony to the sacrificial giving of the people, that they were so willing to make sure that God was served and followed exactly as he described, that they were willing to give so that this project of God can be completed. As you look at your life, are you as willing to be open-handed with every blessing that you have received from God? Even as we look through this book of Exodus, as we're wrapping up in the conclusion, part of the abundance of the materials and things that the people of Israel had was because as they were leaving Egypt, the people of Egypt were giving them their riches, their stores, and everything else they had as part of God's provision. But they didn't work for any of that, right? It was a blessing of God that these Egyptians were giving Israelites these supplies, that they can now then in return say, God, you gave us this. Now we're giving it back to you in an act of worship and service of who you are. And that the workers would have to say, look, you've even given more than enough to what we have and what we need. And so as we seek to live out a life where we're exuding God's love, can we have a mindset of generosity so that the work of God's kingdom would have to tell you to stop giving because we have enough money, we have enough resources, we have enough people serving all these areas that we don't even know what to do with. I think we have a far way to go in the American church before we can get to the point where we'd have to tell people enough with the service, enough with the giving. So let that change now with us in our generation as we move forward to be faithful people to God and that he could tell us enough with our giving. All right, church, have a great day.